Team, hello, what is up? Welcome to Motosumo. My name is Ben. I'm your instructor today, team. I'm streaming to you all the way from our studio here in London. And I'm very excited to welcome you to our 45-minute endurance game, team. What this basically means is it's an endurance ride in the sense it's one of our slightly longer classes. At the same time, we've got slightly longer sections. With endurance, with any endurance, whether it's on the bike now, on the bike, outside or running, anytime you're doing endurance, you want to bring that intensity down ever so slightly. So we're not going to be working at the top of your intensity. We're going to be bringing it down ever so slightly, but we just do it for a slightly longer period of time with minimal rest. So the opposite of interval work is the opposite of HIIT training. It's about holding those long endurance rounds, team. As always, team, we base everything on two different factors. We base it on your resistance and we base it on your speed. So with your cadence, we work with those colors. We're going to build our way up from that lowest, which is gray or blue, up to that yellow or red. On the other side, we have your resistances. We work with four main resistances. Your 1, 2, 3, 4, in which I'll be describing all of them, but we all start together on that resistance 0, team, which basically means at the very, very bottom of your bike, so you've absolutely got nothing on that resistance whatsoever, guys. We get ready to go in 5, in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So everyone at the very bottom of their bike, just getting those legs moving. I'm going to be honest with you, team. The legs are feeling a little sore. And that's all right. This is what this warm-up is for. They're feeling sore now because I haven't moved that much today. So I need to warm up just like you do because I'm going to be doing everything just like you do. So we just bring those legs around. Everyone in that same resistance. Remember, we won't come back to this point until the very end of your class, until we get to that cool down, until we get to that stretch. Because it's a little bit too easy, isn't it? All right, team, let's break it up. Let's bring it up into that resistance 1, team. Let's take you up to that resistance 1. Show me that resistance 1, remember. It's still nice and light, it's still nice and easy, but we can actually feel that resistance in there, can't we? Yes, Lynn, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're in that resistance 1, team, and we're just getting those legs moving around. Welcome to that endurance game. Welcome to those slightly longer rounds. And it's your slightly longer class as well. You've got 45 minutes locked in with me. Oh, what a dream. So right now, we're just getting those legs moving around. Obviously, time to start thinking about that sort of technique, sort of think about that form from early days, isn't it? So that's what we do. We bring those legs around. Just keep them moving, just like this. Let's go for a little push pace, team. And what I mean by push pace is, you put that little bit of extra energy into it. Right now, we're not quite passive, but we're not pushing. So I want us to go into that push pace, team. For a minute on the clock, we do that in resistance 1, into that yellow zone. Everyone in 2, in 1, let's go. So we got a minute here, 60 seconds to get their legs moving around. Lovely, remember that yellow zone is 90 to 109, so you've got a lovely big bracket there. Especially during this warm-up, I'm not going to give you any specific numbers, but I'm going to keep it quite a wide bracket, just for you to push into, because 1, this is your time to warm up, and 2, this is also your time to figure out your different resistances, because everyone's got different bikes, everyone's got different bodies, and everyone's different on different days. Everyone's unique. Your legs might be sore, like mine are especially sore today. So that's why we're finding out then. 3, 2, 1, pull it back. We keep those legs moving, but you can just put yourself into that green zone. We're gonna go for that once again. We've got about a 15-minute warm up here, so we've got plenty of time before we get into those longer rounds. Remember, this is all about long endurance rounds today. And once we start, there ain't many recoveries. But time to get back into that yellow zone. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's do it. So back in that yellow zone, remember this is still lovely and easy. Just getting a warm. Obviously, the point of a warm-up is very much in the name, in the sense that I want to get you warm. It sort of gets blood pumping to your muscles, it gets everything sort of whirring, and it also gets your mind switched on. So right now, I want you to think about your intention. Keep pushing on, keep hitting that yellow zone, but you think about your intention, about what you want to gain from your class, and how you're going to get there. Cool, pulling it back in 3, 2, 1, we can slow it down, lovely stuff. And so what I mean by that, as we're just pedaling out, is I sort of want you to picture yourself at the end of the class. How do you look? How do you feel? Now you've got to think about your journey there. What's going to make you get there? And also, what's your reason for getting on the bike? Everyone has different reasons. It might be as simple as you just want to get a little sweat in. That's all good. Picture yourself at the end, nice and sweaty at the end of the class. How are you going to get there? By working hard. So there's all these ways and all these routes about how to get there. Anyway, let's crack on with this. But I'm going to keep bringing it back to that intention, to that goal about how you want to get there and how you want to feel. Team, let's take it up. Find that resistance 2 for me. Remember, 1 and 2 are your slightly lower resistances. 3 and 4 are your slightly heavier ones. So right now we're in resistance 2. Should still be relatively easy, but it's just thickened up ever so slightly on that resistance. It's just tightened up, and you should definitely be able to notice the difference. Let's go for another minute on the clock. See how that feels. You should still be able to get into that yellow zone, and we go for that. Lynn, nice one in 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. We go for that slightly poppy music today, because what's going to get you through those long rounds, and what's going to keep a smile on your face as you're climbing up a long 5-minute hill? Some pop workout music. I reckon that's going to be the way to do it. Holding on to that, lovely on that, Lynn. Yes, good work. You got 2, you got 1, and we pull it back again. That is what we like. Sick work, all right, ready to go again? We're gonna do that exact same thing again. We're just learning, we're just feeling how these different resistances feel in our legs and our bodies and everything. And I'm gonna repeat again. Endurance is bringing about that intensity ever so slightly down. So if you think about running a marathon, you don't gas it from the beginning, you pull it back. And it only starts hurting from about halfway or 3/4 of the way through, because you've been holding that for so long. And so that's the idea of this. So we go with our main rounds at the at the 15-minute mark gone, so we've got half an hour left. Let's go for another minute on that clock. In 2, 1, let's do this. Big up everyone on fire, Motosumo. Woo. So holding super strong in that yellow zone. It's exactly where we should be. Exactly where we should be. Two, 1, all right, let's bring it up. Find resistance 3 for me. Find that resistance 3. Remember, this is heading up into those slightly heavier resistances. Resistance 3, I always say, is a one that you could really stand up in really easily. You could just go for a fast stood up section. Resistance 4 is obviously your climb, that's slow. But in resistance 3 now, in an endurance game class, we're aiming for between about 80 to 95, or at least in the warm-up. Let's hit that, another minute on the clock. 80 to about 95. If you're any lower than that, resistance probably a little bit too high. If you're any higher than that, resistance too low. We go again, in 2, in 1. Let's go, resistance 3. Strong in that pace. Nice, holding solid there, Lynn. In that top end, that's what we like. Really good. Sweet, our first time in that resistance 3, remember, definitely a big difference heading up into this resistance. We've still got that resistance 4 to come. Tune! Woo! Lynn, absolutely nailing this. Big arm, let's pull that one back. We go for 1 and more of those nice long sections, just testing out these different ones. Once again, you've got different bikes and on different days, you'll be feeling a different way, whether that's mentally or physically. And that's all good. We're all different and we celebrate individuality. But this is what this warm-up is for, especially because we really want to hone in on those exact numbers, and those exact sort of resistances and how they feel. But what's super important is that any time it's up to you to change it. Remember, I just give you the tools. It's up to you. If you really want to test yourself out, make those little changes. Take that resistance higher when we're in those main sections. So you've got that. You know that you can do that. And I'm going to allow you to make those little changes to give you a bit of autonomy so you know how to play it. Another minute on the clock in that resistance 3, in 2, 1, let's do this. Big up, Lynn. Riding so well today. Remember, really think about that technique again. Those elbows are in, internal rotated. Everything from about the waist up is nice and engaged, nice and still. So you got your core as that sort of center point to hold on to everything. Making sure also those shoulders are rolled back. We don't want to hold tension where we don't need tension. We need just things engaged. And then work our way down to those legs in which you're kicking out, pulling back, getting that full 360, working on that full motion. So with that full motion, you're pushing down and you're kicking back. Yes, Alan, what's up? Finishing off there in 2, 1, good stuff there. All right, it's time to take it up to that resistance 4, that highest resistance that we are gonna hit. Remember, this is your climb 1. And we're not gonna go straight into a climb, we're gonna go into a sat down section in this. And so we're aiming for sort of green here. Let's just say, keep it generally broad for now. So it's obviously between about 70 to 89. Another 60 seconds on the clock in your resistance 4, first time here. 3, 2, 1, let's do this. If you're ever hitting yellow zone in resistance 4, sat down, your resistance is too low. If you ever stood up and you're getting to those 80s in resistance 4, again, that resistance too low. Need to be super high, super heavy. Halfway in this little section, 30 seconds left. Then I'm going to give us a 30-second break. A 30-second break to prepare. To get ready as we get into that main section, team. As your warm-up is done, I've given you that long warm-up. Push it on. Three, 2, 1, 30 seconds. Shake it off. Roll those shoulders back. We got 30 seconds. Stay in resistance 4. Keep those legs moving. I'm gonna have a little sip of water, team. And we're gonna get ready to go. or a big sip of water. I was thirsty. How are we doing, Lynn? Feeling strong? You ready to stand it up with me? Yeah, you are, Lynn. You're riding strong as well. We stand it up at your saddle for your first long section. We get to go in 3, 2, 1. You didn't need to know it. You're into a 5-minute climb. Surprise! Into that secret little 5-minute climb as we drive it up. All right, our first time standing up, Lynn. And our first time sort of checking in with your resistance. Am I heavy enough in that resistance? Is it challenging enough? We should all be in 60s for now. We should be in 60s. I want us everyone in 60s. If you're higher than that, your resistance is too low. Add more resistance. This should be super heavy. This should be really nice and heavy. Hence why we are driving up this hill. And this is why we kick in with this sort of music. This sort of happy, positive, feeling good music. Let's do it. So first 5-minute climb. Now remember, the way we play endurance game is that we have minimal breaks. We're never going to break more than 15 seconds. But remember, the intensity is a little bit lower and we drive it forward. So Lynn, I don't know where you are in the world, but I'm in London, lovely London, notoriously unpredictable weather. And I went for a little walk this morning, and it's been around Christmas time and everything. It's been rather mild. And again, I don't know where you live, so mild could mean something very different for you. But it's been sitting about 7 to about 12 degrees Celsius, which is cold for a lot of people. But for London, that's quite nice. I went for a walk this morning. It was 0 degrees. It was nearly freezing, and it came as a bit of a shock to me. So we are fully into winter. We are fully into January blues, as some people call it, but not me. Not me. We look ahead. We look ahead, it being the new year, new goals. We don't let the cold do anything. I don't let the cold stop me from getting outside, getting some fresh air. I still went for that walk. And I saw lots of people running around, and I thought, that's what we like. New fitness goals, new general goals. People out there running in the cold. Made me happy. Made me think, everyone's still up for it. Despite what's going on in the world right now, everyone's up for it. But that's what's going on out there. We care about what's going on in here. Right now, on our bikes. But right now, I can assure you I am not cold. I am quite the opposite. I'm quite hot. Keep driving on. Remember, this is heavy. We're in that resistance 4, that dreamy little resistance 4. Legs are feeling good. So remember, obviously that resistance 4, because it's super heavy, it changes from being sort of a small cardiovascular, it changes it to being slightly more muscular endurance. 4 minutes down, 1 minute to go. Trying to stay on that pace, trying to stay on that resistance. Within this time, remember, I allowed you to make those little changes. If you felt you were slightly too heavy and you were really struggling, you can take a little bit of resistance off, I don't mind. Because remember, we're playing at that slightly lower intensity. We should be sitting at about 70, 75% of your maximum intensity. If you think of like an all-out sprint on like a resistance 3, That's going to be about 100%, about 95%. So we should be sitting at about 70, 75% of your maximum intensity. But we're doing it for a long time. That's just a 5-minute section gone. We've still got more to go. And then in 10 seconds, without stopping, without breaking the intensity, you're going to take it down to resistance 1. And you're going to get up in those 100s for me. In 3, in 2, in 1. Let's go. Let's try in there. Resistance 1. Find those 100s for me. Oh, 120 then. Woo. We're here for 2 minutes. We're here for a lovely 2 minutes. So this is what we like. Holding a lovely steady, but completely different pace to what we were doing before. So again, these rounds, these longer rounds, whether it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and especially in an endurance game, it's about consistency of numbers. So just try to hold that same cadence point you can. And it is obviously slightly tougher to hold it in those high numbers because bigger numbers, more it's going to sort of flit around. Look at that. Due to our super long warm-up, we're already coming close to that halfway mark. That is a celebration. Woo! Let's get that involved. Let's get some cakes involved. Why not? We keep it moving another 30 seconds here. Again, Lynn, keep letting me know how you're feeling. I can assure you we're going to feel a bit like that later on. You should be feeling good now. Motivated, feeling strong. 8 seconds into resistance 3. Stood up. At your saddle, resistance 3. We go in. 3, 2, 1. And resistance 3 this time, which means it's green zone. Aiming for sort of those 70s, I reckon now. 70s is those good number. So obviously between that 70 and 80, because we want to have that control. And this, because we're going ever so slightly faster, we're pushing it into a sort of mixture between that muscular endurance and that cardiovascular. And so we push it forward. We stay strong with it. Okay, that's a minute down. And so the way these sort of slightly longer ones work, as I've mentioned before, is that, again, we're feeling all right. We should be feeling strong. We should be feeling good, just as you are, Lynn. Just as we start to push through into the sort of final third. So it's this final sort of 15 minutes, because we work continuously, and because there are those limited breaks, that when it starts getting that little bit tougher. That's all right. We embrace that. We embrace it for a couple of reasons. One, we embrace it. Who have we got in? Jacka. Have I got that right? Yes, Jacka. How you doing? That's 2 minutes done. Staying on this pace. Staying on this pace. Lynn, as always, absolutely nailing it. We embrace the final third for a few reasons. One is because the sort of more you push yourself, especially towards the end, the more rewarding it's going to be at the end. Knowing you push yourself. And number two, It's because it is the final 15 minutes. Every second that goes by is a second closer to getting there, to getting to the end. And so why waste it? Why waste any opportunity to push yourself? Lovely stuff. Right, team. Remember how I said at the beginning? We set those intentions, we set how we feel, we set how we want to be there. Look at yourself now and then look at yourself in under 20 minutes, because we've got under 20 minutes left until we're done. So, for that reason, yes, Kristen, how are you going to get there? How are you going to make yourself be the person you want to be at the end of this class? And with under 20 minutes left, do you need to make a couple changes, a couple shifts in how you're working and how you're riding? Do you need to push yourself a bit more? Have you gone harder than you thought you would? If that's the case, great. Challenge yourself even more, push yourself, surprise yourself. This is what this class is all about. Still another minute in this resistance 3. Staying strong in that as we come close to that final 15 minutes, that final third. Where we start to think, oh, can we hold on to this? Can we keep this going strong? Yes, Kristen, I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes, we can keep going strong. Woo! Because we got these coming at the end. We got these in the finish line for us. And last but not least, we got those waiting for us as well. So let's go, Lynn, absolutely smashing it so far. 20 seconds, we get to sit it down again. And then we get to do that same thing we did before. You're gonna join me in that resistance 1. And you're gonna get into those hundreds or even 110s. Ready to sit it down for another 2-minute section. Yeah, I reckon so. 2, 1, straight down, straight into it. We don't mess around. And getting back on that tempo, getting back on that technique. Because once you jump on them, once you jump back to that base, once you jump into that home zone, and it becomes sort of ingrained into your body, you can just jump into it. And you know how that 100 feels. You know how that 108, that 110 feels. Don't you, Lynn? Woo! Yeah, you do. That's me and you. Run away to the sunset. Run away with the sky left far behind. Strange blue is meant for me and you. Let's do it. Sweat's real, Lynn. The sweat is real. Stay locked in. Stay locked in. Are you on track for your intention, Lynn? Are you heading in that right direction? Even if you don't make it, if you're heading in the right direction, that's still good. Your one and only short 15-second break, Lynn. Keep those legs moving. Take yourself into resistance 2 for me. Not resistance 1, we take it out there. Find that resistance 2 for me. It's race time. It's race time, I know, and endurance as well. But it's an endurance race. We go in. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Resistance 2 in that racetrack. Now it's time for you to put the pedal to the metal. Give me a sweet little bit of speed. Because now's the time for it. Now is that time. Two minutes. Obviously it's that endurance race. Lynn has gone out with a bang to really lay down the law here. We're only doing one and only race in this run, and I do my race in resistance 2 unless stated otherwise. That is halfway officially. How are we looking to push on? You got a negative splitter. That basically means you got to speed up to the end. You don't want to have a big start and then slow down. No, 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 no. We don't want that. Big final 30, final quarter.
About to leave, already back.
All the way, pushing to the end. 2, 1. Nice. While we check the scores, Lynn, I want you to stand up in resistance 4 and just give yourself a passive climb. But put yourself in resistance 4 and climb out. Oh my goodness. Look at that score. That is insane. What a number. Let's take it out there. That was huge. That's for you. Officially. We get ready. We're going to sit it down. Let's get some speed back in there. Remember, we're just getting that passive climb in there. We're going to start playing with little resistance changes now as we come towards the end. 2 minutes, resistance 1. Sitting down. 3, 2, 1. Resistance 1. Give me that speed again. We're doing what we've done before. I haven't made us touch the resistance at all mid-rounds. That's where things change now. Because why not? Why not mess around as we get towards the end? Why not test ourselves out? Challenge us.
Now looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde. A classic cliche, we're on the run. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss now. I'm done living life with the lights up, done with my own.
Push it. Give me. Another minute. Add some resistance. Go. Hold your number. Hold your number. I added with you. Just because you've added some, or in fact, even though we've added some, I want you to hold your number. That's your challenge. That's how we do it. Yes, Lynn, all the way. Strong in that pace. How are you feeling now? Strong, I hope. Come on! Cool, we're gonna stand it up in resistance 4. In 3, 2, 1. Stand it up, resistance 4. Also, have a look at the clock. We got 10 minutes left, team. Woo! 10 minutes left.
Song is gone, I'm latching on. Don't even know your name, but you're still in my head. Underneath rays of gold,
Let's do it.
you're so close. No, I can't forget, no. When I saw you on the dance floor, I went to you who's on me first.
Halfway through this climb, we add a bit of resistance. Remember, we're in that resistance 4 right now, Lynn. We should be in that blue zone. We should be in that blue zone. We add some resistance in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's the one. Heavy as you like.
I can find my love. It's looking everywhere. It doesn't make sense.
Do it, pushing on. This should be mad heavy right now. In 18 seconds, we take it down into resistance 2 this time. Not for a race, but for another long section. Endurance game is living up to its name. We've been hanging out, constantly working for a long time. We sit down in 2, 1, resistance 2. Remember, we're holding about 95 to 105 now. You shouldn't be able to get over 105 now. Here we go. Ready to add again. 8 seconds. Adding a touch of resistance. 2, 1, add. We're getting there. The party is soon, but not a second sooner. Because we want to get there. Remember, even though we've added, we hold that number. We hold the resistance and we hold that cadence. Just over 5 minutes left. Well, just over 6 minutes left. We got a stretch coming up as well. Don't you worry. Pushing on. We get to drop it down once again to resistance 1, and we go back into that speed zone. Another 2 minutes in resistance 1, with those little changes, of course. Getting ready. Oh my gosh, bless me. 2, 1, resistance 1, let's go. Back into those hundreds, maybe red zone. And this time we make changes every 30 seconds. So I'm gonna let you know when to add a touch of resistance, just a little bit. We go for that first one in 2, in 1, go. Every 30 seconds this time. You've been working, but you, Lynn, have been working, Motosumo have been working incredibly hard. Look how close we are to the end. Are you gonna get there? Are you gonna complete your intention? 5 seconds, we add a little bit again. Add a touch of it. Again, in 2, 1, go! Adding for the final time, 2, 1, go. We got 1 more minute after this. Lynn, can you give me that? Can you give me 1 more minute? It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be real tough, but we got it. I'm gonna bring this song back. I like this song too much. We go from the beginning. Ready to take it up into resistance 3. In 2, 1. Final 60 seconds. Resistance 3. Every 20 seconds we add. Let's do it. Go, go. We add in 2, 1, add. Everything you got right now, taking it to the end, you got 7 seconds to give me absolutely everything. 3, 2, 1, add. You got 3, 2, 1. Take yourself down to resistance 1, no, to resistance 0. And just keep your legs moving. Lynn, please do let me know, how are you doing right now? How are you feeling? Yeah. And that's how you should be feeling. Like an absolute hero. Like an absolute, oh, that's what I look like right now. Looks like I was mimicking that, wasn't it? But that's how, you know what, that's how I feel as well, Lynn. Because that is how you should feel after that sort of class, and especially when you push yourself that hard and you get there and you get to get this reward right now, to get the endorphins running through you, to feel that adrenaline, to feel the blood pumping through your body. But I want you to close your eyes and take 3 big deep breaths in, big deep breaths out. Breathe in and out. And again in and out. And in and out. From there, I want you to roll your shoulders back just a few times with me. And then take it forward. Lean your head to one side. To the other. Come forward and slowly bring those legs to a standstill, and we're going to stand it up. And you're going to push your heels down and bum back. And get that stretch in your calves and your hamstrings. Then you're going to spin around the other way, and you can do that exact same thing for me, Lynn. For Motosumo, really getting that stretch in there. Or getting deep in there. And then from there, I want you to bring your arms up to the sky, and you're going to bring them all the way around and give yourself a big round of applause. Thank you so much for making my job so enjoyable and for sticking with me throughout that whole 45 minutes. You're an absolute legend. As always, check us out on socials. Check out our Facebook community group if you want to know anything about the latest news, and also making sure you're clicking pause and save so you can compare your workouts against the rest of them. But for now, Lynn, you're an absolute hero. Thank you so much, Motosumo. That's me done. Ben out. Goodbye.